What up, though? It's your boy Willie Styles in the building. Chevy, you want to say what up?
Hello, everyone.
All right, we are in the building. It is Wednesday, June 29th, 2022, end of the month. Matter of fact, I believe this is the last show of June for GFT Radio. So we have the honor of bringing you guys the Styles and Chevy recap, recapping episodes 2 and 3 of Miss Marvel. Sorry we couldn't make it to y'all last week. We had some technical difficulties, but we
Yeah,
are here tonight. We got y'all covered, and we're going to recap the heck out of this show. A
yeah, we
very
are.
fast moving, very on pace show.
That's funny.
So first things first, let's talk about ratings because I feel like it's keeping on pace. It's keeping like the what's the word, the oh, not not the intention. What's the word I want to use? Basically, like
What the intensity?
the intensity. Yeah, it's like because each episode I want to see more. You know what I mean? Like I forgot what word to use for that, but basically, like
Anticipation.
the anticipation. Thank you. So it's keeping the anticipation going. Um, the story overall, I think, is moving pretty well. So yeah, so I think I'm happy with it. I'm giving episode 2 a rating of about 7, and then I'm giving episode 3 about an 8 because I just liked how more exciting it was and more action filled. So what did you think, Chef?
I think I say 7 for 2, but I'm gonna be like I'll say like a 6 or a 5 for episode 3.
Really?
It's just a narrative that I'm tired of seeing from Marvel, and it's just
Okay.
annoying.
Oh,
Um,
okay, okay,
we can
okay.
talk
All right.
about that later.
I guess we're about to find that out later for sure. Wow, wow. I was anticipating you hitting it with at least an 8 as well, but I must have missed something. Something got over my head. I'm thinking.
Maybe.
Well, I
I
mean,
don't
you
know,
always
but
do
I might
good.
be getting my episodes confused too. So
Yeah, I know, right? Yeah, yeah. It's kind of hard. 'Cause I'm sure you watched 4 as well already. So
half of it, yeah.
okay. So yeah. Watching 3 episodes and then trying to recap 2, I'm sure is a little tough. But I got the scene by scene breakdown, so we'll go through it. We'll walk through it, and we'll see if you switch the ratings around or if you make some adjustments later. But for the most part, I think we kind of have our feelings about it. So episode 2, I just kind of felt like um, it was a I won't say slower, but with the power montage, her trying to learn her power and her trying to um figure out, who she is and what she wants to do with this newfound, strength, was a little slow. And then I think the ending was okay. It just wasn't like it's like I kind of expected more from that ending, or I expected different. So, and I'll get into that when we start walking through that part of it. But it was just like I was like, dang, like they could have did something different with this. And then, but I was shocked by the very very end, to see what happened, and then moving into episode 3. I was like, I want to see where this goes. So, spoiler free, what did you think about episode 2?
I thought it was cool, like her, having her little like it kind of reminded me of Shazam,
Oh
like
yeah,
the
yeah,
little
yeah, me too.
montage
Yep.
of
Hmm.
her, getting her power. I mean, trying to figure herself out and getting a better understanding. And it was cool. What I really like about this show is the kind of like I guess it's I'm not gonna say it's better than like Black Panther. I'm not saying that. But Wakanda is a fictional place. So even though for black people it was like, oh cool, Wakanda, but it's not steeped in reality. You know what I'm saying? Whereas this show is steeped in reality. That's what we want to see for our
Harsh,
people.
harsh realities for a couple of these scenes as well.
Right. But it's like in this show, we actually see a real person living in a real world and see their real lives. And I thought that was cool, being able to see how they celebrate, them at the
Yeah.
mosque. all of those
Exactly.
different things. I think it's really cool what they're doing with this show because it is Black Panther. It is what they did with Black Panther and steeped in
Yes.
tradition and steeped in all that. But it makes it even cooler because this is real. Like for
Exactly.
real. You know what I'm
Right,
saying?
right. Yeah, that's what I liked about Luke Cage was that it was, it was so black, you know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
And it was so real and it was, it had its moments, of course, the fantasy moments, but it had more, like you said, that real element. So same thing here. And I think I talked about that the last show is that I appreciated the inside look, right? The things we don't usually see because we're not part of that community, as well as, understanding the interactions and the community, the way they just even how they speak to their children, how they work together, how they play together. And like you said, we got to see a little bit of how they celebrate, and it was just wonderful to be able to get a sneak peek into that we would either rarely see or never see. You know what I'm
Right.
saying? And I'm sure, well, at least I'm assuming that they have done people in their community proud in terms of representing them in a positive light. That's the other thing. Even the one scene where there was the what they call it, the not danger zone. What are those people called? Department of
Defense.
Destruction or whatever they are.
Defense. Oh,
And they
them people
came,
in the show, the
yeah,
DOD.
yeah, and they had that interaction, and they basically were like, "Look, you know what? Don't be profiling us." And it's like this is real life stuff that they have to go through, and to a smaller scale, and just a quick glimpse. But it was like I like that they included that too. It's like, hey, we're people too. Don't just feel like we're this group that you've uh, 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 tagged into,
Marginalized and put
is
into
that
this.
marginalized and then tagged into another group of people who has nothing to do with us, or have different values and beliefs than us, and just lumped us all together. So I just felt like it was one of those. It was definitely a much needed look into that life. Episode 3, again, we got to see, even more of the celebration portion. Getting to see more action in the show, especially her making better use of her powers, better use of her. Well, mainly having to be forced to do something, right? That she didn't know if she could do or not, and being able to accomplish it. It's one of those things where you don't expect her to do everything all at once, but it was nice to see her kind of pull off some moves and all that kind of stuff. So I definitely like that part of it. The pace of it, it's only 6 episodes, so the fact that it's moving fast, but it's not too fast. I like that part too. I felt like we got to the point right when we needed to get to the point, so that way we can move to the end in a timely fashion.
Yeah, I agree with that.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't want to. My in depth. I have a big gripe with episode 3. So
Okay. All right. Well, let's get to the recap then, and then that way we can hear all about it. Give us some insight, because that's what you definitely are known for, giving us all the best insight. So we're definitely gonna dive deep into that then. Let's get started then. Spoiler recap: episodes 2 and 3. If you have not watched episodes 2 and 3 of Miss Marvel, go watch it. Come back.
Mhm,
You'll have the
mhm,
replay
mhm.
here. We're here. We usually are here for a little while, so you can come back too if you fast forward through it.
Right.
But um, episode 2, just at the beginning, we're coming from her discovering that she has these powers. She's excited, and the one thing I loved about it, which was funny to me because this kind of felt like a call back to, I think it was Spider-Man, Amazing Spider-Man, if I'm not mistaken, where how she felt like she was kind of on top of the world, but also she just felt so much cooler. And then she's doing that montage, or that walkthrough at the school, and she's like, catching the ball, and correcting the teacher, and getting the couple out of her way and all that kind of
Mhm,
stuff. So it was
mhm.
like, it was cool seeing her kind of feeling herself now that she's got the powers, but not to the point where she was like too cocky with it or
Right,
too over
right,
the top with it, or like, I'm gonna show off, or anything like that. But it was like that right amount of confidence builder, which I thought was beautiful.
right. I like that part. It was hilarious. But it was also like, geez, these are things that you could have been doing before. You know what I'm saying?
Yep.
But because your desires of wanting to be something bigger than yourself like overtook you, you just didn't do the normal stuff, like tell people to get
Yeah.
out in front of your locker and correct teachers when they say your name wrong.
Yeah. Exactly. Yeah, which is funny to me because I've always taken offense to people saying people's name wrong, and if I ever hear people, I'll be like, hey, I think their name is this, not that, or at least being like, hey, how do you pronounce your name so that make sure these people getting it right,
Right.
that kind of thing. But sometimes people are just like, you know what, just go with it. I don't care. They really could care less. But little things like that's just her identity, right? Her reclaiming her identity. I thought.
Right, 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 right. Um, and then what happened? They
So then they
oh
she meets
yeah.
up with Bruno. Oh no, she runs into Kamran, right? She runs into Kamran. It's her first time seeing Kamran. I think that she had that initial shock of like, oh my God, this stunning man. And then, it was like, okay, she was already in this cool feeling, but then all that went away, right?
Yeah, because now she didn't fell in love. I'm like, that boy look like he grown as hell. What he doing in here? That's what I
I
said.
was thinking the same thing. I'm like, bro, like where
It's
did the grown man come from? Like, is
21
this a
Jump
teacher?
Street.
Right, right. So
But
yeah.
also that girl, what is her name? Zoe or
Zoe, yeah. So Zoe
Zoe. She's
started talking
taking
to
this
everybody and did her live stream about, getting saved by, what does she call her? Nightlight.
nightlight and created this narrative that made it about her. And she was kind of
Mhm.
like, dang, I wish I could just tell everybody about me because then I would be the one going viral. You know what I'm
Exactly.
saying?
Yeah, because she's got her own YouTube page and everything, and she's
Right.
like, "Hey, you know what? I could have 4 times as many subscribers if I let everybody know." He's like, Bruno's like, "Hey, isn't that what a
Yeah,
secret
because she was
identity
gonna
is all
try
about?"
to take the Spider-Man approach.
Exactly.
And
Exactly. So yeah, so Zoe decides she's going to have a party to celebrate
celebrate.
life, and then she sees Kamran, and trying to be the cool kid. She's like, "Hey, you know what? You're a new senior. Why don't you come through?" Which I thought was funny because these kids are all in what, 10th grade, 11th grade, and I think 10th grade if I'm not mistaken. And then she's inviting seniors to her party and everything, and then when they got to the party, it was that was a whole mess. I'm like, are kids really doing all this in 10th grade? Like,
I
this is
mean, have you
wild.
seen a Chucky show? Like
No, I
them
haven't.
kids in middle school and they wilding. Like
Really?
whole nother level. I started back watching it today. But yeah, like smoking weed, drinking beer, doing all
Wow.
kinds of stuff,
That's crazy. I mean, my grandson did tell me that kids in his middle school are like smoking weed in the bathroom and stuff like that.
Yeah, my brother told me that too when he got out of middle school.
Yeah, but right, of course, right. Yeah. Now that I'm out of middle school, let me let y'all know what's happening there. But I mean, like my grandson is only in 6th grade, so it's like, man, what's really going on up in these, with these kids? It's crazy to me. But I digress. So after Bruno, Kamala, and Nakia see that Kamran is going, well, mainly Kamala, after she sees that Kamran's going to this party, she's like, you know what? Let's go. So um, Kamala and Bruno go and start talking about her powers and go into the theater. And I think that, they basically were just trying to figure out, like,
Yeah, how
where are
she
these
can
powers coming
control them.
from, what's the capacity of them, and all that kind of thing. So they decide that it's time to start training, start trying to figure it out.
To see
So they
where she
training
from, what
month.
her powers is all about.
Yeah, yeah. So between Bruno getting almost knocked
Almost
out and
murdered to death.
right, her
And they
falling
having them their
off
little
the building.
moment. They had their little moment.
Yeah,
I'd never let you go. I always catch you. She said something along them lines.
You're
But
right, right. Uh-huh.
and then they have their montage, right?
Right.
Of her
Yep.
figuring out what her powers was. My favorite ones when she was running and she was just like, "Oh my god, no, this is not for me." Uh, and it was
Right,
like,
right.
okay, well, she doesn't have super speed, she doesn't have super strength. She really just has this bangle that
Right.
unlocks the key inside of her body.
Right, right. Oh,
Oh,
Sonny
come on,
said,
say
my son is waving
hi.
at Chevy. I told him you can't hear him. But he started with a crazy loud high, crazy way. Oh, what up, though, Sonny? Appreciate you joining us. Appreciate everybody for watching. So yeah, and what up, Zay? Appreciate you for watching too, sir. So yeah, um, they do the montage. They start figuring out, like you said, they figured out that the bangle was not the complete source of the power, but more it unlocked her power, and because he could see the heat signature and the energy signature coming from her body. So that was interesting, especially because I was kind of feeling like, the bangle was the power source, and I'm like, well, she only got the one bangle. Like, what happens when she gets two? But now I'm like, okay, maybe she doesn't need two.
But I was thinking, like, is she like one of them people when they dropped the monolith in the middle of the earth and they decided
Oh,
who was
the
gonna
the
have powers and
the
who was
Inhumans.
not? Yeah, like is
Yeah,
she
the
one of them?
Terrigen Mist. Yeah, so technically, Kamala Khan in the comics is an Inhuman.
Okay.
Her powers were unlocked by Terrigen Mist. She was mistakenly engulfed in the mist. I can't remember if it was Doctor Doom or somebody. Might have been Magneto. Dropped Terrigen over her city, and she got hit with the mist, and then unlocked her powers. But because Kevin Feige is still not comfortable with bringing Inhumans into the MCU, even though we just saw it in Human in Doctor Strange, but you know, uh, they aren't really ready for a prime universe to have Inhumans, so they are not making her an Inhuman in this show.
So what is Agents of Shield considered then?
So they're also not comfortable with if that's canon or not. So yeah.
Oh,
So what's his name? Phil. What is Phil? I can't think of his name now.
who?
The main guy that was in Thor and now and then in
Oh,
Agents
you
of
talking
Shield.
about Coulson?
Coulson, yeah, Phil
Yeah.
Coulson.
Okay.
So Coulson is canon. The agents, Shield agents are canon, but the show itself is considered legacy. And then it's possible that they may bring the agents like into the universe, but they're expecting them to be more explained as an alternate version of what we saw in the Agents of Shield show.
Okay, because it was supposed to be canon at first, but then they
It
changed their
was,
mind.
yeah. Yeah, so they backtracked on it. They backtracked because I guess Feige wasn't happy that they said yes. And he was like, yeah,
I mean, because it
maybe
definitely veered later on.
it
Like
did,
they
yeah.
did a
Because
good
it
job.
never, exactly, it stopped following the film line. And I think that's why they're like, you can't really say it's canon because they went and did their own thing after a while. They talked about Thanos, they talked about, certain characters, but they never really got back on track with the films. And so, they kind of have to say, okay, yeah, at, maybe they'll say the first season was canon and then the rest of it was an alternate universe.
I say they can say all the way up until Captain Marvel, because the blue people was in there.
The Kree, yeah, yeah. But
Yeah.
actually, before that though, they had started time traveling, and I think I feel like they can say it was canon up until the time travel, and
Okay.
then that way they can explain it as once you time travel, now you're in a different universe. So
Oh, okay.
you know what I
Okay.
mean. So yeah,
Okay.
multiverse. The beautiful part about the multiverse is now really everything can be canon, just it's not part of the prime universe. So
Okay. Okay.
so yeah.
Yeah, because
So
that was confusing me. Like, if she got power in her body, then she like that girl from Agents of Shield,
yeah,
who
exactly.
mama was crazy. So
Exactly. Yeah, yeah, Daisy. Yeah. So yeah, so they end up what was it? They oh yeah, yeah. So then they go to the party, right? And no, this before the party.
but
What
they go
was
to
it?
the mosque, right?
Yeah, they go to the mosque, yeah. They're late to the mosque. They get in there, do their routine, get into there, and then And which was interesting, right? Also, because we got to see a part. Definitely, I would never see, right? You know what I'm saying? And I think that it was interesting, the things that they were going through, like the bathroom falling apart, mold under the carpet, even the barrier that they had set up for the women versus the men. I think it had holes in it and stuff. It was like, you know, things they're going through, real life stuff, right? I
Yeah,
thought that was
people stealing
interesting.
your Versace shoes.
Right. Oh yeah, that was crazy to me when she came back out and the shoes were missing, and then we got to see that interaction between her and I forgot what his name was, the uncle or whatever, who was giving the oh yeah, Sheik Abdullah, who was giving the lecture and everything, which is another thing. It's like most people have never been to a mosque and don't understand
No.
what they do in a mosque, and seeing
Mm-mm.
that was interesting. So they start talking about the mosque board. Nakia, was upset about what was going on in there, and then that's when Kamala was like, "Hey, maybe you should run for mosque board and be able to enact some change around here." So I thought
Yeah.
that was pretty cool.
And also speaking to like women empowerment and how, in many different cultures, women are seen as less than, you know what I'm
Yeah,
saying? In
indeed.
comparison to their brothers, to their siblings, to the men. So yeah, I thought I really like that because I've never been in a mosque,
Right,
and even when I have known like Muslim people or Arab people or Indian people and stuff like that, it's like Kamala. She's so Americanized that you wouldn't even think that she would go to mosque.
right. Yeah,
You know
yeah.
what I'm saying?
Exactly.
So
I was kind of thinking
that's
that
not a
too.
part of their lives that they really talk to
Mhm.
people about. So I really actually really like that.
Yeah, yeah. Indeed, indeed. I did too. I did too. So yeah. So after that, they leave there, and Kamala goes home, apologizes to her mom about sneaking out, and that's when she asks about going to the party. Says Bruno's going, of course, and Nikia's going. So mom was surprisingly, because I know we talked about this a lot in the last show, is that mom was surprisingly more willing to kind of allow her to do some things, which I was so shocked, because I'm like, she just snuck out. I was thinking she was gonna be like, no, and she was going to come up with a whole nother plan on the
Right,
board.
right,
So, but I was happy to see her mom, go ahead and be like, okay, you know what, I'm gonna give you another chance, and let you go do this thing, just don't mess up again, that
right.
kind of thing. So I thought that was kind of cool. It was definitely a turn that I didn't expect. Um, so they go to Zoe's party,
And it's
late
a
to the
damn
party.
kegger.
Right, and it's a kegger. I'm like, this is exactly what her mama said don't get into. Like.
Then they get there. Old dude walk up to her, give her a drink. She like, is it alcohol in this? And he's like,
Right.
no. And then she drinks it, and she's like, oh my god. And like drunk. Am I
Right. I know, right. I'm
drunk?
like, I was cracking up when she said, am I drunk? I'm like, bro, that's
But it was so
crazy.
funny to be in there because they were all so like, oh my god, oh my god, oh my god, what's happening? And then he jumped in the pool and he was like, oh my god.
From
Wow.
the top of the house too, I'm like, okay, bro, you showing off.
But now we know why he was able to do that and
Yeah,
not,
exactly.
you know.
Yeah.
But and then Kamala, she falling in love again.
Exactly. Now she's really ready to stay at the party. So it's like,
Right.
all right, let's do this. But of course, the cops come.
Their time of romance is cut short. So
Exactly.
conveniently, Kamran has a car. So he like, I can give y'all all a ride. They get
Right.
in the car. Sparks are flying. Things are happening. Bruno losing his goddamn mind. And then he
Mhm.
calls the man Brian.
Right, right. Hilarious. No, no. The funny part before that was when they started talking about
The movies.
the Bollywood movies, right? And then he sneaks his hand in there like,
I
I like
like
Bollywood.
Bollywood.
I was like, bruh, like you are
He
Too
was
obvious.
stressing. He was stressed. That
Super
man was
stressed.
stressed. Yeah,
So he said that grown man, yes,
yeah.
messing up his name on purpose.
Because I'm like, why
Exactly.
are you flirting with this child? You look like a grown man, sir. I don't believe that
Exactly.
you're 17.
All right, right. I'm like,
You're
bro, like I
21.
exactly, exactly. But
But he
so
was
they
nice, He just messed up that man's name. Ooh.
exactly. He hit everybody else's name, no problem, and just hit her and just hit him with the
Nice
Brian.
meeting you, Nakia, Kamala, Brian.
Right. I think he kept doing it throughout the show too. It was hilarious.
Yes, it's a thing. It's a thing now.
Like
It's
literally on purpose. But so I think he gave her his number at that time, told her that he
oh,
would give her
because he
driver's
teach her
lessons.
driving lessons. Yeah.
Yeah. So she's like hyped up. She's just feeling good. But she gets to school and so during class her nose starts glowing and,
Yeah.
and she's like freaking out.
That kind of reminded me of turning red.
Yeah, exactly. Sonny said that's something she would do.
That's funny.
So she's trying to figure out how to get rid of the glow. Nakia even finds her in the bathroom and everything, and so they have a little talk, and I think that finally calmed her down. And then she also let her know that she was officially running for the Moss board, so that was dope. Bruno found out he was going to the immersion program at
Caltech.
Caltech, but of course now he's feeling threatened by the
Bye.
Kamran,
Mm-hmm.
situation. And then, he's like, he doesn't want to leave his friends. He knows Kamala's got powers. So he's torn. He don't know what to do with that
But I'm
information.
like, what is there to be torn about, sir? You have
Yeah.
to live for your future. You better go your butt to because he don't have no family.
Right. Exactly.
I want to know
Exactly.
his backstory. What his evil parents up to?
Exactly.
What?
'Cause I'm like, he's a little too smart. My man got way too much smarts going. He's somebody's son. Like, come
Yes, he's somebody's son. That's an
on.
evil villain, super villain. I feel like his mama, daddy, whomever is a super villain.
Exactly. Yeah, gotta be. Gotta
And
be.
them gloves being left at the Avenger Con is going to bring whoever it is to him.
Hmm. Hmm.
Why they show us
Okay.
the gloves on the floor, Willie? Why they
Okay.
showing? It's
Okay,
a
that's true.
reason.
That's a good point. I would love to see that paid off. I would love to see that. Sonny says the Tony Stark love child. He did become the villain in Civil War, so
Right. I don't even know no other smart villains or people that we've seen that's smart that he could be
oh well, you got
relative of.
the guy that was in Iron Man, the one that was in charge of that other company that ended up
Oh
uh
yeah.
yeah, I can't think of his name at the
Jeff
moment.
Bridges character.
Oh, Jeff Bridges' character too. He was smart. Yeah, but no, I'm talking about the other guy that went to prison.
Ooh. That wasn't Robert Redford, was it?
No, it was a young guy.
Mm.
I can't think of
I
his
can't
name.
remember who it.
Yeah, I
I
have to
ain't
look it
watched
up
the
right
Iron
quick.
Man movie in a minute.
Yeah, but yeah,
Huh.
um, what's the word? She meets Bruno outside and he was trying to figure out if he should tell her, how he's gonna tell her, and then she's
Then
like,
he
you know
got a
what?
little jelly. He got
Right,
a little jelly. So
exactly. Oh, Justin Hammer.
okay.
Yeah, that was the other the guy.
Okay.
Um, but yeah, so he right, he sees that she's going off to go do her driver's lessons, driving lesson. I don't know why I keep saying driving lesson with Kamran. So yeah, so he got judged. He's like, okay, I'm not talking about this right now. So yeah. So they go off and they do the little driving lesson, and they go grab something to eat, and then and what was funny? I don't know if you caught this, but while they were talking about Bollywood again, they mentioned that their moms both had crushes on Kingo
Oh, was that from the Eternals?
from the Eternals, yeah. And they were saying how
Oh,
he was playing his father and all this stuff, but it really was him being himself and then being his son. So yeah, he was Kingo from the Eternals. the Bollywood star. So yeah, so I thought that was a dope callback. Of course, they didn't know that he was an Eternal, but that was kind of dope. They incorporated that. But then, their date got cut short by Amir and his fiancee Taisha because they were outside and saw them and came in, and then she's like, "Yeah, Kamran is our cousin," and I was cracking
And
up
I
because
was
I'm like,
like, what?
I was like, why would
Why
you
didn't you
tell
just
them
say he a friend from school?
that? Exactly.
Your mama should be happy.
Right, right.
You know what I'm saying?
Then
Like,
again, what does she call it? Not was it Hezbollah? No, not Hezbollah. What did she call it? Oh, I can't think of the word her mom used when she said that it was going to be, foolishness at the
oh,
at the convention.
oh yeah, yeah, yeah. But I thought that scene was so great, but it also was a little bit like, who is this guy for real? Because he being too nice to her. He a senior. He ain't trying to date her. And I mean, I could be wrong. I mean, now that I've seen more and I know more, I probably am wrong. But it just didn't seem. It seemed like he was really trying to
He
get
was
to
trying
know
way too
her.
hard. He was
And
trying
not only
super hard.
that, it's convenient. Y'all are the same nationality or whatever, and you flock to her like that, knowing that she younger. It's like, are you preying on her? What's your deal, bro? You know what I'm
Exactly.
saying? I did think it was cool, like the part where she was like, my Ami, and then he's like, my mom. And he's like, I know what that means. You don't have to
Yeah.
dumb it down for me. And I was just like, wow, that's good that she got she's found somebody where she can be herself around and not
Yes.
feel a certain type of way. Because even with Bruno, she constantly has to explain,
Mm-hmm.
their
Yeah.
traditions and their customs to him. And
Right.
that gets exhausting. It's like when you say a slang word in front of your white friends and you gotta explain it all the time. You know what I'm
Right.
saying?
Right.
It's not nothing wrong, and I don't mind explaining, but it becomes exhausting. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying?
Yeah. Indeed. Indeed.
So
Yes.
I thought that scene was cool. And also another thing, for anybody who was talking about inclusion as it relates to black people, this episode should have shut all that shit down.
Oh yeah, definitely, definitely, yeah, definitely, because they got the fiance. They even had her family in the next episode. So yeah, they definitely got the inclusion going on at that point.
Yeah, because I'm like, he marrying a whole ass black woman. So
Exactly.
let's just kill that noise.
Uh-huh. Because like now
Uh
she's a official co-star of the show. So
yeah, yeah,
yeah.
yeah. She in there, but that scene was funny too that she caught.
Hmm.
And then he played right into it. And see, that was weird to me too. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, why was he so like, I get it, your own culture, but like it just was seeming like he was just too agreeable. So I didn't trust Kamran. I didn't
Right.
trust him from the moment I saw him. From the
Yeah.
moment he let them get in his car and he was so nice to them, I said, who is this man and what does he know? Because first of
Exactly.
all, he looked
Exactly.
like a grown ass man.
Right. I mean, and that was my thing too. It's like I felt like between letting them all jump in the car with him and then him immediately wanting to talk to her or do these driving lessons and all this kind of stuff, I was like, yeah, he's trying way too hard for me. Like he
I'm like,
definitely
he's a
knows something.
villain.
He
I'm like,
definitely is involved. He probably knows about the bracelet and everything. So I felt like this was a setup. I already felt like
yeah,
it was
I
a
feel
setup.
like it was a setup too.
Yeah.
So what happened next?
So then they go back to the house. She talks to her mom and stuff about the partition. Yusuf and Taisha are talking about the story. I think they were all having dinner at that time. And then they talk about Maniwa's mother, Sana, was how she was separated from her family before the last train at the station was leaving during the partition. And she said that her father went to go try to find her, but he couldn't find her in the crowds, and he also had he was at a walking cane, so he was struggling to go find her. But they ended up finding her anyway because she found her way, even though she was like 2 or 3 years old. Found her way back to the train and back to her father. Because she said she followed the trail of stars. And
Mm-hmm.
then Taisha asked us about Sana's mother, but they said that they didn't know anything about what happened to her mother because she had disappeared. at
Right.
that time. So they just assumed, like everybody else that disappeared, that something either happened or they just got left behind.
Yeah,
So
but her mom was extremely uncomfortable with this conversation.
yes, exactly. She even left the table,
Yeah.
and she kind of listened from the kitchen, but you could see she was pained thinking about what was going on. And I think she had tried to shut down conversations about her grandmother and everything before, and I think even talking about her mother as well. So I think there's a lot of issues there between her mother, and her grandmother, and she's definitely she was definitely showing it in this episode.
Yeah. Yeah.
So then, while the father finished the story about what was going on, Kamala's bangle started to flash and act up,
Mhm.
and then
Mhm.
she ends up seeing that vision, and she sees the vision of a woman and that she didn't know, and then
She passed the hell
yeah,
out.
she ended up passing out. Yeah. I think her mom was like, "Did you eat enough or did you eat too much?" So
That was funny.
yeah, so that right there got me going, like, oh, okay, like what's going on? Like, all right, so now we got this mysterious figure. We got and at first I was thinking like, oh, maybe it's the grandmother, maybe it's the missing grandmother, because she was like holding her hand out and was like, come to me. And I was thinking about how the little girl, the Kamala's grandmother, Moniba's
Was
mother,
led back to
was
her.
laying back. So I was thinking like,
Stars.
oh, maybe this is what Sana saw and walked along the path of lights, which more than likely was her having the bango and the bango lighting up the path, and then being able to get back to the train. But she didn't know who that person was, and then not knowing that real history of the mother of the great grandmother, she probably wouldn't know who that woman was.
Right.
But she ends up going upstairs and calls her grandmother. And then that was a cute little conversation, because the grandma's like, she's like, why don't you write me? She's like, like, we don't
But
really
got
do
the
all that.
phone like this.
She got the phone up to her face. I was like, oh, hilarious. I was like, I guess everybody's grandparents are the same.
She's like, Nani, please take the phone away from your face.
Right,
Please.
right.
So what happened? The dad tried to come in the room and
Yeah, I think no, her mom tried to come in, and she was like, trying not to let her mom know that she was on the phone with her grandma, so because apparently there's this tension between Maniba and Sana anyway. So uh but before she got off the phone, Sana did confirm that the bangle belonged to her mother Aisha, and so or Aisha, and so of course, she was like, I gotta get off the phone. She hangs up, and then she ends up talking to her mom, and she asks her, about her mom's grandmother and
she
everything.
basically like she brought shame on the family.
Yeah, so that was
No.
like, okay, now this is the revelation we needed to find out what's really going on. She already feels like her mom, Sana, is head in the clouds, and was so flighty as while she was growing up, and then turns out she also feels like her grandmother Aisha was some a horrible woman, and off doing God knows what. It wasn't just her missing from the train, but just in general, just being uh, uh, uh,
A shame.
yeah,
A shame
shameful
on her
woman.
family.
Exactly, a shameful woman. So it was like, okay, now we're getting somewhere. So, but of course, Maniba didn't want to elaborate, didn't want to give all the details, and she tells her to let it go. So anyway, damage control comes in, and they got Zoe. So they
Oh
caught
yeah, they sure
Zoe.
did. They sure
Yeah.
did.
Uh-huh. So yeah, that's what it is. Department of Damage Control, DODC.
That's a long
And
ass
so
name.
the agent acts like he knows who she is. He's all like, "Oh, Zoe Zimmer. Oh yeah, I'm a big fan. Blah blah blah." You know, and then all of a sudden, he hits her with the like. So what about the super that tried to kill you? She's like, wait a
She's
minute,
like,
whoa. Oh.
try to kill me. Nightlight saved my life.
Right, right. So they grill her, get information out of her, which I thought was crazy because it's like, where are her
What would
parents
she
at?
know? What I mean, sometimes these interrogation scenes be pissing me off because it's just like, y'all know this is illegal, right?
Right, right, exactly,
This is
exactly.
coercion. You can't do this. You know what I'm
Especially to
saying?
a kid, like what's really
Yeah,
going
like
on?
these people ain't even. I just watched the show where they did that, and I was just like, so you trying to get a confession out of a kid and record them without their parents' permission, with no lawyer present, and you're not even at the police station. Like, I'm speaking
Right.
about the other show I was watching. It's just crazy the shit they be doing in TV shows. Like,
Exactly, exactly. Yeah, exactly. But they did somehow get some information out of her enough to understand that they were looking for ethnic girl. They were like, well, we're gonna search every temple, community center, mosque, and in the tri-state area and figure out who she is. So then we get over to the mosque and they're celebrating Eid Mubarak. So it's the end of Eid, and so they're doing a full celebration. It's almost like a big festival going on with the whole community, and Nakia's canvassing, trying to get votes because she's going against was Uncle not Yusuf, Uncle Raphael or something like that, or I can't think of his name, but she's going against one of the more popular uncles for the seat. So she's pushing hard. I love the conversation she had with Yusuf and was talking about who are you going to vote for? Yeah, it's your best friend, but it's your daughter's best friend, and what
you
does
wouldn't want
that
to
say
stop
about your
women's.
support of women in power? She was hitting them with all in the
Yeah,
field.
she
He's
hit him
like,
with all the stuff. She
right,
hit him with
right.
all the
And then his
stuff.
friend looks over to him. He's like,
What are
Yusuf, what
you
up, though? Like,
doing?
he's like,
Like, what are you doing?
right? He's like, I don't know. I don't know.
So, in the midst of everybody having a good time, this stupid kid, what was he doing?
Yeah, I don't even know what he was. I think he was trying to take a selfie in the window. Decides to scoot all the way out and then falls out of the window. Like,
Right.
bro, what is you thinking?
Oh, wait, but before that, um, when she was supposed to be helping her best friend Canvas, she was going to the aunties trying to get information about her great grandma.
Right, right. And they further confirmed that she was being
Ashamed
a
on her
shameful
face.
woman, and they kept saying she kept disappearing, kept going on, and they assumed she was cheating on her husband and that she had these you know late night flings and all this other kind of stuff.
What
They
took me
pretty much said
out,
she was a hussy.
right? What took me out is when the one said, I heard she killed a man."
Right,
She's
yeah, oh
like,
yeah,
"What?"
yeah, right, right,
Like,
right. They was giving all the information out. I'm like, dang, like y'all don't know how to stop, do y'all? What she call
no.
them, the Illuminatis.
Yes, the Illuminati's, because he gave, well, they basically gave a rundown of all the different groups and
Mhm.
cliques. And the
Right.
fun, my favorite one too was the converters.
Oh
The
yeah, I was cracking up at that too. Like, oh man.
Ooh-wee. So back to this little boy who fell out the damn window.
Yeah,
Well,
yeah.
he falls out the window. Everybody running. Bruno pull out the suit. It's on. Okay.
Right.
We about to have our superhero moment.
Yeah.
And
And
you
luckily
know,
she had figured out the powers enough to be able to at least, get herself up there. Which I thought was crazy because it's like, regardless if you know how to step on them things, being that high up in the air, like, bro, I'd have
if
been
you fall, it's a wrap. But what's
it's a
funny, her power reminds me of someone else's power, because somebody has a power where it's like a fail safe. When you don't do it for yourself, it automatically, like, your body does. I can't think of what movie, show. I don't even know if it's a Marvel character, but
Are you talking about
somebody
Green
else.
Lantern? Well, her powers
Maybe,
it's similar to Green Lantern, but I don't
because
know if
his
it's
powers would save him without him having to do anything, even if he
it,
couldn't do it.
it's just basically thinking about it. As soon as you think about
Yeah,
something, it does. Yeah,
yeah, like
exactly.
a
Yeah, the
little
ring
fail
takes care
safe.
of it.
It
Yep.
must be Green Lantern.
Yeah, because
Yeah,
her powers are basically Green Lantern's power, just without the ring. She's
yeah,
just
the
using her
bangle.
mind.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
So
So that's who I was thinking about. Yeah.
Yeah.
So, she was doing good at first, and I was like, oh, yay.
Oh yeah,
Look at you,
Venom.
girl.
Venom is like
Oh,
that too.
Venom. I think Venom is who I'm thinking about
Yeah,
because it
yeah.
literally is a failsafe.
Yeah, but that's Venom taking care of things for him. But
Right.
Venom himself is it, or the symbiote version or part of Venom is a thinking thing. It actually does things on its own. But yeah, but it's he's more reactive than the host than now I can't think of his name.
Eddie Brock.
Yeah, Eddie Brock. He's
Look
more
at me.
reactive. So
Look
yeah,
at
yeah, you on it, you on it. Hopefully nobody getting mad at me in the watching because I keep forgetting everybody's names. But y'all know I got this. Y'all know I got this.
that. Oh
But
man. But she was doing good at first.
yeah, she
And then
was. I
she
thought
got
she did pretty good. And even though at the end of it, because she was like she got him to calm down. She got him to come to her. She got him to step onto the light pad without the light pad breaking. I thought that was good.
yeah,
So
but then
she was.
ego. Why
What's
you
that?
posing and shit? Her ego.
Oh yeah, yeah.
The ego got her. She should have been more focused on getting him down because she knew she didn't know how to manage her powers as well as she was looking. Because I mean, she
Exactly.
kind of just got like lucky. You know
Right.
what I'm saying? She was having a hard time making a step the day before. You know what I'm
Yeah,
saying?
exactly.
She
Yeah,
want to
Sonny
do the
said Moon
Black
Knight too
Widow.
has had the fail safes too.
Oh yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. She want to do the Black Widow and pose and shit. You know what I'm
Exactly. Yeah,
saying?
yeah. She definitely that's where she failed.
Yeah,
Exactly.
like yeah.
And
Let me
then
do
and then
my
all of a sudden
poses.
his platform flipped on him and broke, and then it was
Yeah,
a wrap.
and he fell on the. Luckily, she caught him.
Yeah, she caught him on the way
In,
down, throwing
yeah,
platforms under him,
which I
but he
thought was
literally
sweet.
was.
I thought that. I thought it was cool.
I
It
thought
just
so too. His parents weren't too happy about it though.
it's his fault from the beginning, though. I still
Exactly.
don't know what that boy was up there doing. I still
Exactly.
don't get
Exactly.
it. Like
Yeah.
that should have
I,
been closed off. Like, why was he even able to get up
yeah,
there?
exactly. I was thinking that too. Like, why was he even able to get up there? Like, that's crazy. That's crazy. So,
So then she felt a little bad,
yeah. And then all of a sudden, she decides to run off, and then starts getting chased by DODC and
drones.
their drones, which look suspiciously like old boy's drones from Spider-Man.
Oh, you talking about Mysterio?
Mysterio's drones, exactly.
Oh wow,
Yeah,
yeah.
they look suspiciously like Mysterio's drones.
Well, he
This
didn't
launch
die,
side.
did he? Yeah, he died.
He died, but his
Yeah,
technology was still there. And you know how they like to salvage
yeah,
technology
you
and
do.
reverse
That's true.
engineer it. And it
That's
was regular human technology. It was stuff they made at Stark Tech, right? So it was definitely not, or maybe at Justin Hammer's place. But yeah, it was definitely something that they could have just quickly, alter for themselves, and that's what they did. So it was chasing her down. She knocked a few out, jumped over the truck or
van or
whatever,
truck.
landed on the ground,
And
and then
who is
the
there?
homie Kamran pulls up.
But is he a homie?
I'm like, wait a minute, bro. Where did you come from? How did you know she was there?
I said, I knew y'all was on some bullshit. That's exactly what I
Exactly.
said. And then
Uh-huh.
we see the woman in her vision,
Right.
and it's
She
his
turns around.
mama.
It's the woman in the vision. He's like, I like you to meet my mom. I was like, oh shoot.
And I said, that lady looked like she a villain. She got the
Exactly.
face of a villain. She got the
Super villain. So yeah, so that was the
oh,
end of episode 2. Definitely had some good spots. Like I said, it had a little slow spots. The interesting thing was seeing the vision of the woman, hearing the Illuminati's talk about the Illuminatis, talk about the grandma or the great grandmother, talk about Aisha, hearing the story behind the partition. Another great point too, their culture, their history.
mm-hmm,
Man, a lot of good stuff going on in there. Seeing the Eid Mubarak celebration.
mm-hmm.
I've participated in Eid Mubarak several times at my job, but seeing it in their own space, that was beautiful. So yeah, so that's why that's another reason why I gave that show a 7, because I just felt like it had still so much good homegrown stuff in it, and but the slowness kind of like took away from it for me. So, episode 3. So we're already like in this excitement of like, okay, who is this woman? like you said, how does Kamran fit into all this? Are they cousins for real? Because that's how the
Yeah, I
show was
was
kind
thinking
of.
that too. I was like, damn, maybe they are cousins.
Yeah, right. Cousins and didn't even cuss.
Oh man. And also, is it this easy to know who she is? That's what I was thinking
Yeah, I was
too.
thinking that
Like,
too. Like,
because girl, you need to do something about that.
right, exactly. They just pulled up on you like that, so easy, like something's going on. But yeah, so she oh no, in the beginning of episode 3, we had the flashback showing what really happened between Aisha, what is her name, Najima or
Yeah,
Naima.
Najma. Yeah.
Okay,
I
yeah,
think that's how you say it, yeah.
yeah, and then their crew, and so
Yeah.
it turns out that the reason that Aisha was always coming up missing because she's out there searching for the
The
Bengals
Bengals
so she can get them back
home.
home. Right. And then what was crazy is when they entered the cave, there was a symbol on it, and it was the 10 ring symbol.
Now I missed that.
Yeah, it was carved into the floor. So I thought that was interesting because I'm like, oh, so then is it possible that this was stolen by the 10 rings, or maybe they just had it, whatever. So or maybe it's related to the 10 rings.
Like maybe they are connected in some way, or maybe that's how they designed or fashioned the 10 rings.
Right. But the crazy part is when they pulled the ring or the bangle out of the ground and it was attached to a blue hand.
See, I didn't understand what the hell. I'm not even about to lie to you. I was like, what the hell is going on right now? I didn't know what the hell was going on. So
Well,
it was a
with that
Cree person?
what that means is that that person was Cree. So it's like, okay, so are they related to Cree, or does the Cree just knew about their people and had some kind of powers that could allow them to move between those dimensions and that kind of thing? Because they basically live in different dimensions.
That's
Again,
so
10 rings,
crazy.
right? The 10 ring situation where her grandmother and my grandmother and people all lived in a I was her um, uh, what's his name, Simu and his
Hmm.
sister, their people, their grandparents lived in a different dimension. So I thought that was interesting that there's that correlation again. So they somehow it seems that maybe the Kree had some dimensional had the ability to transport themselves dimensionally as well.
That's so crazy. I just thought that damn arm was dusty because it was in the dirt for so long. I never looked at it
Oh,
and
really?
said it
Okay.
was. I just said, damn, that person's arm was dusty.
Oh,
It didn't look
right. Yeah.
blue
No,
to
that's the
me.
first thing I noticed is that it was blue. I was like, oh shoot, the Kree.
It looked gray, like dirt was on it. Okay.
Right. So Aisha puts the bangle on, feels the power flow through her, and she asks Naima, did you see that? And she's like, no, I didn't see anything. And she's like, well, we got to split up. We got to figure out a way to avoid these soldiers and everything. And so then they leave, and that was the last time Naima saw Aisha and the bangle. So now she's got Kamala in her clutches.
Right, but we think. I mean, I'm sorry. You know, we all know. The audience knows that this woman is bad news,
Yeah,
especially when she asks her the question. So, who are we? What are we? And she's like, "Oh, we're this, and we were exiled from our place, and we've been trying to get back home." First question I said is, when you get exiled, that means you got kicked out.
exactly.
So what the hell y'all do?
Exactly. And that was what was crazy to me. Like, why didn't she ask that question? Like, so what would you guys exile for?
But see,
Like,
this is
what's
my
really
gripe.
going on?
This is where we're getting into my gripe.
Okay.
There is a commonality with all the teenagers in the Marvel and young adults in the Marvel Cinematic Universe that they are very naive to the point of stupidity. And
Mm,
when they're so naive, so many bad things have happened because of it.
right.
Like if you've seen Spider-Man, like it gets to a point where that is so bad And I don't want to see that. You know, this is a person who has a family, she has
Right.
a life, and her being so naive with no explanation other than the fact that she's sheltered is annoying, because we can understand why three Peter Parkers can be naive. They grew up without a father figure. You know
Right.
what I'm saying? They grew up without a family and support system. I can
Right.
see why Kate Bishop would be naive. She grew up privileged and she grew up without a father figure. I understand that. But Kamala has a mother and a father, a brother, a family, a community, a group of people that she can bounce ideas off of, even if it's in a very non-specific way. You know
Mhm.
what I'm saying? Like,
Right.
hey
Right.
mom, if you met somebody randomly and they started telling you things about your family, would you think that's a good person, or like would you think that was weird? You know what I'm
Right.
saying? You
Right.
could go to the people in your life and ask non-specific questions to like say, well, maybe I shouldn't be dealing with this person, or maybe I shouldn't be doing this, or maybe I shouldn't trust them. And I know she has like a thing about belonging, but the
Right.
thing about it is she belongs already. You know what I'm saying? So I don't
Right. Right.
understand why they chose to take this route with her as well. And if that's going to be the trend from now on, it's going to get annoying for fans, because when you stupid, people die. You know what I'm
Right.
saying?
Right. Exactly. Exactly.
And don't
Yeah,
nobody
that's
want to
true.
keep seeing that. Don't
Well,
nobody want to keep seeing that.
and to your point, the thing was this too was that Naima revealed to Kamala that, like, look, your grandmother or your great grandmother was working with us to try to get back home, even though we're exiled. We're going to try to get back home, but you know, nobody can unlock this power besides her, and now you. But we need that bangle to get back home. So it's like already like you should be suspicious. Like,
Right.
okay, like none of y'all got this, but I do, and now y'all need it so y'all can do something with it. And
Right.
then she asked them, like, where's this home? And what are you people? And then she tells them that they're jinn. Like, okay, you know what a jinn is. So why are you even not questioning this? Like,
Yeah.
okay,
Like you
even
could
though
have
it's
been nice and
folklore, or even though it's
respectful.
right, right. Like even though it's folklore, even though it's mythical. The thing is, there's no good stories about Jin. Really,
Right. You could have been nice and respectful and then walked out the door and said, yeah, no. Like, you know what I'm saying?
exactly. I'm
Like,
not messing with Jin. I'm
no,
sorry.
thank you. It's just
E-
the level of night.
Even if I'm one quarter Jin, I don't care. I'm not doing it.
Right. It's like the level of naivety. Is that how you say that?
Yeah.
In this was annoying. And I mean, maybe there's some trauma there from Spider-Man, because I'm trying to rationalize why he was so naive, why he was so this, why he was
Mhm.
because it literally ruined his life. You know what I'm saying?
Right. Right.
And then you got Kate Bishop out here just being a dumbass kid. And
Yeah, she was kind of annoying.
it gets to the point like,
Well, I blame that on her privileged upbringing. But
yeah, but we have to blame it on something,
yeah.
because that's the rationale that we have to use when we have these characters acting this damn stupid. You know what I'm saying?
got you. Got
Like,
you. Got you. Yeah. Yeah. See, I told y'all Chevy was gonna break it down because it kind of went over my head. I was feeling it, but I just didn't focus in on it, so I missed
but
that
that
part of it.
really messed the episode up for me, because it's kind of disappointing. Like, I know it's not a lot of young characters in the Marvel Cinematic Universe, but they all can't be this stupid,
Right, right, true that.
because it
Well, the good thing
continues.
is the kid from Captain America and the Winter Soldier, he was pretty, and I think he's going
Yeah,
to come back, and be part of the Young Avengers. But but the rest of them, yeah, we haven't gotten too many good ones yet. So
yeah, it's like they not too bright, and it's
yeah,
annoying. Like, even the way they doing it, like in the shows, it's following a pattern of, okay, so we're gonna let them meet someone, and then they're gonna be really nice to them, and then because it did happen to Spider-Man twice.
yeah,
You know
exactly,
what I'm
yeah,
saying? And I'm just
yeah,
talking about one Spider-Man, not
right,
the
right,
other two. You know what I'm
hmm
saying?
yeah,
Like, we
yeah,
meet somebody, they're nice to us, they make us feel like we belong. Then we find out that they're not who they say they are, and then everything goes to shit, and now we're sad. Like, this is what it's gonna be. Like,
Right,
no,
right.
man, y'all gotta do better because that gets old after a while. Because ain't nobody's kid that's stupid.
Yeah, no, no, not at all. No, I know my kid would have saw it a mile away. So
Yeah, like you can go in there and be respectful, you can be nice, but to actually walk away feeling fulfilled and like, oh my God, I know who I am now, and I
right.
know what I'm about, and oh my God,
And to feel
I'm
like you got some obligation to owe to them, you
yeah,
know?
to help these people that you never met from Adam, like, but they've been watching you, girl. They've been following you. This boy literally registered at your school so he could get to know you. They played you. You weren't even mad at Kamran. I would have been pissed for that alone.
That alone. Yeah, exactly. Especially because now you know you got played.
Yeah, like, do you
Hmm.
even like me, or do you even like Bollywood movies?
Right,
You know what
right.
I'm saying? Like, so yeah, okay, that was my gripe with the episode.
Yeah. Sunny says they never talk to a family member about what's going on. They feel like they need to protect them, and they end up causing more problems. Yeah,
Yep.
exactly, exactly. It's all that's always the biggest thing too. But you know, the adults do the same thing. You know, in their stories, in their origin stories. So you know, I can't blame the kids for that part too much. But the kids usually take the wrong steps to try to do the protection, and it always causes way more problems.
Way more problems.
Always bigger.
Way more damn
Yeah,
problems.
yeah. But but she does get away from them, talks to Bruno, you know, describes, you know, what happened, lets him know what was going on, tells them about the gin, and then
But Bruno
uh
wasn't for it. He was like, this sound like some bull.
yeah, exactly. Exactly. Yeah, Bruno snapped her out of it, and I like the fact that he already kind of figured it out, and then he also told her like, you know, I know about interdimensional travel, and there, you know, that's going to be problematic. That's going to require way more power than you need to be doing, you know, and then you know, going to this Nor dimension, and then you know, they call themselves the clandestines, right? So she's like, yeah, you know, should I do this? Should I not do this? And then she decides that she's not going to do it, you
Right.
know. But it's still, you know, like you said, going leading up to that, she still was like in La La Land about the
Yeah, a
situation
la la land
until
about the
Bruno
whole
snapped her, which
thing.
was great. Like, and this is what I was talking about. We finally do have somebody, you know, can think a little bit farther ahead. Like something's wrong. Like
Yeah.
this don't feel right. You already just said these people are basically jinn. That's problematic. They want you to do interdimensional, break open interdimensional travel for them. That's problematic. You don't know these people from Adam, but they've been tracking you. Super problematic, you know. So, yeah,
Exactly. And then also her friend, because I was wondering like, why ain't she telling Nakia that she got these powers yet?
right.
And then we find out after the DDOC people came that actually, she had some reservations about there being uh
A problem.
POC.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, yeah, you know what I'm saying? So
Mm-hmm.
it was like, okay, well, it kind of makes sense why she didn't tell her, but I don't
Yeah.
think that's why Kamala didn't tell her. I just
Yeah,
think
yeah.
that
I feel like that was an
conveniently,
after effect.
yeah,
Like, oh,
yeah,
you know what? This is really going to be problematic trying to explain to her who I am, seeing
yeah,
now that she has a problem with it, you know. But
yeah,
before, I think it was the initial, I thought it was just her not being ready to tell her and just not the right time. And then when it was the right time, like when they had that hug out in the bathroom, I felt like that's when she should have been like, look,
yeah. She should have said, "Look, girl, my nose was glowing in the bathroom, honey."
exactly, exactly. I thought that's when she was gonna tell her, but you know, she
But
didn't figure
Kamala
that out.
kind of stupid.
Yeah,
I mean,
yeah.
she just is. She don't act like she, in comparison to where Bruno and Nakia are mentally, she
Hmm.
not there. She
No,
not
not at
there.
all. Not
Her
at
head
all.
is really in the goddamn clouds.
Yes, yes.
Shoot.
Sunny
Yeah.
said, "I'm glad we can talk about Bruno."
Yeah, this is the Bruno we need to be talking
This is
about.
the Bruno we got to talk about for sure. For
All the
sure.
Brunos should be talked about, but
Yeah.
him especially. I love the scene where Kamala's dad came to the store and got the like little fruit. What is a fruit pie?
What was it?
It's I don't know. It's like the little fruit pies,
Oh yeah, yeah. The
cherry fruit
hostess
pie.
pie. The
Oh
hostess pie.
yeah,
Yeah,
and he
yeah.
read what the gin, that like story to
Exactly. Yeah.
Bruno about the gin. Yeah, that was creepy.
That was.
Uh,
Yeah. Because Bruno was trying to do the research, and then he's like, "Well, I got a Jen story for you," and it was like, "Oh, okay." So yeah, so that again didn't sit well with
Bruno.
Bruno at all. Sonny said, "Yes, them glazed pies be hitting. They do." And that's from here, Sonny. Hostess was originally headquartered here in Detroit, so we had Hostess stores where we could go buy the pies, the donuts, the cakes, the cupcakes, all kinds of stuff. They even had bread, So
Yeah, wonder.
it was super cheap. Like it was literally one down the street from my house that I was in, and it was literally like we could walk there, and oh my god, $10 you had like bags and bags full of stuff. It was crazy. It was crazy. I stayed fat over there. Apple, yes, the apple pie was absolutely my
Yeah,
favorite.
the
The
apple one
CPQ,
was good. The
the
apple
ding
one was good.
dongs. Remember they used to be called King Dongs? That used to be funny to me.
I
They
remember
changed,
that.
yeah,
They
they
got a
changed the name
Funko
of it.
Pop of that.
Yeah. Um, but yeah, so he was not happy with the fact of what these Jan are really all about. Um, so anyway, so they oh, you already talked about how Nakia blew up at her about the whole situation at the mosque where DODC came in, trying to flex, and she had to send them out, and then so that stopped Kamala from telling Nakia, because she was about to tell her then, but then
Right.
that
Right.
became
And
a long time to talk about it.
she said she made the board, right?
Yeah, she was on the board. She told her about how she's on the board now, so they were happy about that. And then we switched over to the party. So they having the party
Oh,
and
wait, one
everything.
more thing that happened.
Okay.
She texted Kamran and told Kamran that they wouldn't be able to do it yet.
Yeah, she said she needed more time. Exactly.
Yeah, and he
Yeah.
said, "Take all the time you need." So I'm
Mm-hmm.
thinking, well, maybe they not bad guys. That's when I kind of was like,
No,
maybe they not.
no, you know what? I knew the mother was gonna flip about that, but I was like, I think Kamran is just not one of them for real. You know what I'm saying? I was like, maybe Kamran is like the good kid in the bad family.
Yeah,
I already
he
knew. I was like, when she walked in and she seen them people, I was like, they all up to no good. Like they all up
yeah,
to
them
no
people
good.
looks crazy as hell.
Exactly. I'm like, any crew that look like that is not a good crew.
So yeah, then we go to the wedding.
Yeah.
Well, I guess it was a wedding reception, I guess.
Yeah,
Or
something
was
like
that
that.
the
Yeah.
wedding?
It was like some kind of
Oh, well, they did the wedding and the wedding reception. They showed
exactly,
the
yeah,
wedding
yeah.
and the
But
wedding.
the
Okay.
first we got to see the wedding part, and then they had the wedding reception later.
Yeah, the wedding
So
reception was turned.
yeah, it was
Everybody
super
was doing
turn.
their little dances, and the little
Right.
black baby was up there doing his little part, and everybody and the black parents was out there, and oh, and Bruno came out there. He did hit his little move. The mama was out
Exactly.
there. The daddy was out there. Everybody got out there. I thought it was funny though how the son was like, I only got what he say, $72 in his bank account.
Yeah, exactly. I'm like, bruh, what's going on?
And
But
he
I
was
think he also
like,
doesn't have a job or something, right?
yeah, because his dad was basically like, well, when you get out of graduate school, then you can,
Then you'd be
look for
good.
you a job. You can find you a job. And he just, he felt really inadequate. And,
Yeah.
and but it was so funny at the wedding reception when they was bringing all that money. And he was like, you see all this money? You
Exactly. Uh-huh.
So, we go back and, Kamran mama that pulled his phone. Like, boy,
Got
why
the
you don't have no
phone.
lock on there, boy?
Right,
Like,
exactly.
why your phone just open? You a young man, probably
Right.
between the ages of 17 and 21. Like, why you don't
21, right. Exactly. Exactly.
who knows it's in your phone, man? Mama come up on him so cold. What you think I wasn't gonna find out?
Right. Yeah, she put it on him on that one. She was like, look, don't be telling her she got more time. The time is now, and I'm about to go make her do it right now.
But she could die. So what?
Yeah, right, exactly. She's like, it's either her or us. I'm
And then
choosing
he
us.
like, Mama, I did not
Right.
know.
Mom was scandalous real quick. She
Like,
went from,
clench
from
my
0 to 100
pearls.
real quick.
He like, Mama, I did not know you was like this. You've been so nice my whole life.
Right. Exactly.
So here come They at the wedding reception having a great time. Here come Kamran. Hey, Kamala. Hey, I need to talk to you. Bruno like, hey man, we at the reception. I'm trying to dance with my lady, bro.
Right,
And
right.
he like, man, get out of my face. I need to talk to
So he said
Kamala.
she must be a Gemini.
So he basically like, hey, my mama is coming. She is pissed that you ain't helping her.
Right.
Y'all need to get the hell out of here.
Mm-hmm.
And she's like, oh no, it's be fine. I just need to talk to them. You just want to talk about a pissed off person. I was just like, everybody is about to die.
Exactly. When she walked in, her look on her face, I'm like, yep, you all are gonna die.
Yeah, like when Kamala was like, oh, I'll just call her and I'll have a conversation with her. It'll be fine.
Right. Like this man knows his mama. Like, quit playing.
He like, no, y'all. He had to spell it out for her ass. She will kill your whole family.
Right. I was like, is he being dramatic or is he being dramatic? Because this is about to go down.
No, you being stupid, Kamala. That's why he had to tell you this. And I saw.
Like, what makes you think you gonna have all this power over this woman?
Right, and here she come hard stepping through the door. You know what I'm saying? And Kamala is the smartest thing that I have ever seen almost anybody do in any Marvel film. She did not go over there and confront her like we see in so many of these films, and then it's a whole damn bloodbath at the family reunion or the damn. She went and pulled the damn fire alarm. I said, bless your damn heart. Maybe you ain't so stupid after all.
Exactly.
Because you knew you couldn't fight her. You didn't want her to hurt your family. Get them out the room. Because as soon as she did that, the mom, she was like, oh, damn. Like, I just wanted to punch some people.
Exactly. She was ready. So she got everybody out. Her and Bruno start running off. I think they went to the kitchen. They followed them around. They started the fighting. That was dope. I was enjoying that. You know me. I'm always about the fight scenes.
That fight scene, some of them parts was giving me like Jurassic Park vibes. Like when they was hiding from the raptor.
Hiding and everything. Yeah, exactly. She was like behind that one wall and she was like slipping from wall to wall. I was like, bruh.
Oh, but they was fighting because they was trying to kill her. They
literally were trying to kill her.
She was like, I thought, what did Kamala say to her? Like, I thought I could trust you or something. Or I thought we were family. I thought we was cool. And she was like, why would I be good to somebody who won't help me?
Right.
Done. Like, this is deaded. This relationship is over.
Right. Immediately.
Either I'm gonna take it off your cold or you gonna give it to me living. Right. Period. Like, so they fought some more.
Yeah, even Bruno tried to jump in.
I think he broke his wrist. I was like, oh my God, he's not going to be able to build technology. He can't go to Caltech now because his wrist is broken. He needs his hands. I'm like, messing around with damn Kamala. He going to lose his damn scholarship to Caltech because his wrist is broken. Like,
so she starts pulling out not holding back any punches, literally. Starts knocking people out with her heart light punch. And then Kamran stepped in too, like, nah, you're not about to take my girl out.
Right. Then that's when I said, well, okay, he ain't such a bad guy. He sees something in Kamala that makes him not want to stand with this BS. Because I'm sure he done seen some stuff in the past, but because he didn't care about the person, he kind of let it go. Right. But also in the midst of this, all her family is out there, and here come one of them Illuminatis. I saw Kamala pull the fire alarm.
Exactly. I was like, oh no.
I saw her with my own 2 eyes. They like, you got 4 eyes, ma'am, so shut up. Like,
right.
So
crazy.
Now it's like,
before that, after that, then the fight ends up, going outside, and they're like going at it, and she's like surrounded, and then all of a sudden, Naima grabs the bracelet, and then they both see the train coming at them. So that was crazy.
And then the DOD,
they pull in, they start arresting everybody. So that was like like clockwork. But it was like, what the heck? Like, they was really going at it, and then they got lucky. They got real lucky
because they was able to sneak out the back door.
Yep.
And here come Kamala pounding the door, and her Nakia and walked up on her and saw her with her powers.
Exactly.
Mm,
Exactly.
mm,
Yeah.
mm,
So, but
mm.
she that was her opportunity. Now she's like, well, now I gotta. Sonny said, yes,
Oh,
old snitch. So now
Nakia was
she got to
pissed.
definitely explain to Nakia what's going on. They go back to the house. Of course, everybody wants to know what's going on, what happened. Maniba's like on her head, like, did you pull the fire alarm? What's really going on? Who are these people? What are you dealing
Oof.
with? And once again,
I
trying to protect her
can't.
family.
I can't.
Hmm.
Stupid.
But
Just
then
stupid.
Nani calls her and told her, get to
She did.
Pakistan now. I
Mm-hmm.
just
Mm-hmm.
saw the train. I was like,
Mm-hmm.
what? So now I'm like wondering, like, what's going on? Did the grandma get the other bracelet, or what's the deal? Or is she walking around with it?
Right.
So, all right. So that was episode 3. Definitely a crazy episode. Definitely lots of action in it. Lots of nativity.
Yes. Oof.
Annoying nativity.
Oof.
But I won't reduce my score for that, just because I didn't really notice it. Even though I noticed it, I didn't notice it at the same time. And the action just kind of overtook everything else for me, because I just need action, just keep me going. And then the cliffhanger. Now we have a basically a third cliffhanger. Every episode gives us a cliffhanger, which I like, because it's the type of cliffhanger where you like, I feel good that we got this next show coming up the next week, but I also don't know what's about to happen. So it's like I like that element of surprise. So, which is something I always scream I need about Marvel stuff, but these damn bloggers and articles always trying to spoil everything, and even their own trailers are always trying to spoil everything. So
Yeah.
I like being able to keep going into these without any spoilers and all that
Well,
kind of
that's
stuff.
because a lot of people are out of their depth with this, and not only that, I think a lot of people trying to act like they don't like it.
Yeah,
So,
yeah.
with that being said, it's a lot easier to enjoy the show because everybody not. And I think a lot of people got a lot of bad taste from Doctor Strange too. So they kind of, I think a lot of people taking a little Marvel break, to be honest.
You think
Like,
people didn't like Doctor Strange too in
it's a
mass?
lot of people who did not like Doctor Strange.
Really?
It's
Wow.
a lot of people who did not
I
like
loved
Doctor
it. I
Strange. Like,
absolutely
they say
loved it.
it's the worst. I loved it as well.
Yeah.
But I'm a big fan of Sam Raimi,
Yeah.
so
Yeah.
it's no way that I wasn't gonna like it. You
Yeah.
know.
I saw somebody reviewing it, and I was just I couldn't even get through the first 5 minutes of them talking, because they were talking about how they didn't like it. But I also could tell they knew nothing about any of this. Like, they didn't see most of the movies. One of the people were talking about it. They saw Doctor Strange 2, but never saw Doctor Strange 1. Like, how are you reviewing something that you don't even know about? So I was like, I'm already done with y'all. Y'all are just fair weather fans to Marvel. Like, if you ain't watched the all 23 or all 27 movies, and at least 8 of the 12 or 13 TV shows, I don't want to talk to you anyway. So
Yeah, like, cause you don't know. I mean,
you
it's
know,
one thing to say I read the comics, and that's fine too. But
yeah, yeah, that's different.
if you don't watch the movies and the shows, like, you should not be reviewing anything Marvel related. Now,
Exactly, exactly.
I'm not
Like,
a frequenter. I don't go back and rewatch
right.
all of them, but I have the ones that I like to watch, and you know what I'm
Hmm.
saying. I do that, but I've watched every Marvel movie. Now, what I did stop doing is when I didn't know the characters well, I wouldn't go watch the movie in the theater. I watch it on the back end. So I saw Guardians of the Galaxy on the back end. I saw
Oh, dang.
Doctor Strange on the
You missed
back end.
amazing. You missed an amazing
I
experience with the
did, and
theater.
I
Yeah,
never did that again. If it's Marvel, I
yeah,
don't give a shit. I'm going to see it now.
yeah.
I
Exactly.
mean, because those movies were really good, and I was like, damn, I should have experienced these in the movie theaters.
Hmm.
But I wasn't a fan, so I was like, I'm gonna leave that alone because I don't know nothing about it. But I realized when I started, because that's when they really started connecting them as well.
Yep.
When I realized that, I was like, well, shoot, if they gonna be connecting all of these movies, even if I don't know the character, I need to go watch these movies.
Exactly. Yeah. Exactly. So yeah. So like you said, I'm the same way. I watched every movie. There's only a couple of shows I haven't watched. I didn't watch Defenders yet. I didn't watch Jessica Jones. I only saw like one episode of that, and I only saw a couple episodes of Iron Fist. But I watched Punisher. I watched Daredevil. I watched all the Agents of Shield, all the movies, and then all of these recent MCU television shows. So it's like I'm totally invested into the universe, into the platform. And anybody that's reviewing it, they need to be doing the same. They can't just be starting reviewing something and they only just watch Black Panther and Thor 1, and then they're like, well, I'm about to go watch Doctor Strange 2. Like, how? Like, you don't know anything. You don't even know where we are in the universe.
But
Like,
it's also like this too with Doctor Strange, especially because you know it, a lot of directors' careers were made off of Marvel movies
yeah,
versus a director who already had a unique style and a cadence of how he made his films.
mm-hmm.
When I talk to you and I say, what's your favorite Spider-Man? And you say OG Spider-Man, directed by Sam Raimi, starring Tobey Maguire. And then I say, well, do you like Doctor Strange, Multiverse of Madness? Oh no, I hated it. You sound like an idiot to me.
Right, exactly.
Because it was camp then and it's camp now.
Right, exactly.
All
Yeah,
three of those movies were camp.
yeah.
Now we don't like the third one. That's a consensus. But the first one is still people's tops.
Right.
So it's like when it gets to the point where you arguing with somebody who can tell you their favorite Spider-Man is Toby, but they hated Doctor Strange because they hated the camp.
And to me, it wasn't even that campy to me. I thought it was perfect. Like, I'm like, it follows the usual Marvel formula. It's like you can't be too serious in a Marvel movie. You just can't. It's not a thing. And I can't think of what it was. I want to say it was Thor, and somebody said, "Oh, I already know I'm going to hate Thor 4 because it's just going to be too much comedy in it." And I'm like, but
Well, y'all didn't like Thor 1 or 2 because it wasn't enough. I mean,
it
because you got
wasn't
to think
enough.
about,
Exactly.
like, before
Everybody
we got
loved
to
Thor
Guardian,
3, and where did the
exactly.
comedy come? Thor 3.
And I didn't I love Ragnarok, but I didn't like that it was so over the top funny like that. I would have liked it because I like Thor 1
Mm-hmm.
and Thor 2 is not as bad as people say it is. I know people hate it a lot.
It was.
But I
Yeah.
like Thor 1. I
Okay.
like Thor 1. You're not about to sit here
Thor
and
Thor 1. I didn't.
disrespect Anthony Hopkins like that.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I didn't not like it. I kind of liked it. I just felt it was way too slow. It was just way too slow. Just like I didn't like what's his name, Captain America 1, because it was way too slow. Like, I mean,
But
I
Marvel
I
movies
liked
were
it, but
different then
it
because
wasn't
they were.
great to me because it was just way too slow. Like, but everything else about it I liked. Like, most of the characters, the interactions, things like that. I liked that part of it. And I liked how it continued to move the story along. But the only gripe I had was Thor 2. That's the only, that's still on the bottom of my list. But for the most part, they totally redeemed themselves with me with Thor 3.
I
You
mean, because
know,
yeah, that movie is great. It's
and and
great.
and and I didn't realize it was because of the comedy and how over the top it was. And I think
I
some
mean, it's
people,
actually a really heavy film,
it is, and that's the thing. There's a lot of seriousness in that film.
and it starts our demise of like happiness. So
Yeah, exactly,
that's why the
exactly.
movie was so damn funny.
Right, right, and that's the thing for me was like I didn't feel like it was over the top because I also felt like there was a lot of emotion in that movie.
Yeah,
There
it
was a lot of
was.
emotion.
Thor and Loki reconciled. He lost his father.
He lost
He
his father.
lost
He lost
his
his eye.
weapon.
He had
He
to think
lost
about the fact, right? The lost his weapon. He had to think about the fact that he's losing his people.
he
You
lost
know,
his home.
right? So it was a lot
And then
going
turn
on.
around and in the same freaking day, next movie, he lost his brother. Like,
Yeah,
like
just
he
that man
deserves
can't get a
to
break.
laugh. He
That man
deserves to
cannot get a
laugh.
break. He got to be able to laugh sometime.
He deserves to laugh.
Right,
Like,
right, right. So yeah, but that was our review and recap of Miss Marvel episodes 2 and 3. Great shows. Um, Definitely looking forward to episode 4. I'll probably be watching it tomorrow. I don't think I'm gonna watch it tonight. I'll probably watch it tomorrow.
I'm
Sunny
halfway
said I
through.
have yet to watch Agents of Shield and the last Spider-Man, but everything else, including TV shows, I even watched Inhumans. You didn't watch Inhumans? Okay, dope,
Nah, I
dope.
didn't watch that.
I
I
watched
didn't
I
watch
watched the
that.
first 3 episodes.
It
I got to
looked
get to the. I got to
terrible. It
finish it. I got
looked
to finish it.
terrible to me. It looks so bad.
It was definitely not up to Marvel standards, but it was
But
what
it
it was.
was
It was
also
crazy
on
thing to
like
me
Hulu,
is
wasn't
how
it?
how bad that movie or that TV show was, but it was a movie first. It was at the movies as a two-part thing at the IMAX. They had it all across the nation on IMAX,
But what, it
and
was a
people.
Hulu show, wasn't it?
No, it was on channels. It was on ABC.
Okay.
Yeah, it was on ABC, just like Agents of Shield, because it was
Okay.
basically the same Jeff Loeb, the same producers and stuff. And then they released it first on IMAX, and then they moved it to. I think they did move it to Hulu for a hot minute, and then they just recently put it back on Disney Plus. So yeah, I've been trying to finish it. So he said Thor 3 had me when Thor was charged up trying to taunt the guy and kept saying, "Wait, coming around." And then she says, "True, but I liked it," and they didn't renew for another season. I think it actually got cut in half. It was supposed to be like 12 episodes or 13 episodes, and I think they only made like 6 or something, or some other number. It was a short season because people hated it so much when they went and seen it at the IMAX that they almost didn't release it on TV. They released it for a hot minute and then took it off.
Yeah, I
Yeah,
missed that. That's with that dog on there on it. Because
yeah,
they had
yeah.
made some Funko Pops too. I remember it because they made
Hmm.
Funko Pops.
Yeah, they tried their best to market it, but it just for some reason it just wasn't up to the normal standards. Like it gave me the vibe of like how Agents of Steel started, like the first couple of episodes, but then it kept on with that vibe, and that just wasn't a good vibe to be on. So
Yeah, no,
it
it
was,
wasn't.
and it tried too hard to be too serious.
Yeah,
I think that was the
but
problem.
but
Like
you
if they'd
know
have
that was
had,
a time for Marvel too where they tried to act. Because I think Doctor Strange is pretty serious, but it works because of the type of guy he was,
yeah,
the type
exactly,
of the type of character he was. It
right,
actually works well, and the little jokes that we did get worked as well. They were
mhm,
dry humor, so it
yeah,
wasn't. You know what I'm saying? But Marvel is good at that. They know how to do dry humor. They know how to. It's not like I bought the bank. You know what I'm saying?
right,
Like it's
right,
like you laugh like ha ha ha. You bought
right,
the
right,
bank.
exactly.
You know what I'm saying? They better
Yeah,
at dry humor, non-dry humor, all the humors. Like,
yeah, yeah, for sure, for sure. Well, that's our show, folks. We're gonna definitely be back next week talking about episode 4. So make sure y'all join us. In the meantime, we got the content here at GFT Radio Network. Mondays at 10, we have the GFT Radio Show. Tuesdays at 2 p.m., we have the How to Hustle podcast with Hype. We have Chevy and Styles recap every Wednesday at 9 p.m. We have Sex with Sunny live 2 Fridays out the month at 6 p.m. Every other Sunday, we have Fans Perspective. Gaming with Styles periodically throughout the month, as well as our new show, Styles and Dane Presents One Crazy Month. We'll be back in a couple of weeks with that show. So make sure y'all get at us for that. In the meantime, Chevy, tell the folks where you can find you.
you can find me at Chevy the Superstar on Twitch. Me and Devin will be going live tomorrow at 8 p.m. doing a special Two Snaps in a Circle, doing some movie trailers, talking about San Diego Comic Con, talking about some Funko Pops, talking about a whole bunch of stuff. You can also follow me on Instagram and Twitter at S the Superstar.
Nice, nice. And it's your boy, Willie Styles, in the building. Get at me everywhere at Willie Styles on IG and Twitter, Willie.Styles on Snapchat and TikTok. Find me over at gamingwithstyles.com, playing video games, or stylesradio.com, listening to all my favorite hot tracks. WillieStyles.info for all my links. Um, I'll definitely be looking forward to the discussion about San Diego Comic Con. I got my stickers ordered. Going to be passing out exclusive Willie Style stickers at Comic Con. So thanks Chevy for the tip.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, in the meantime, you guys can get other merchandise from us: t-shirts, sweatshirts, masks, hoodies, all kinds of stuff over at gftradio.creators-spring.com. Support us while we support you. Find us over at gftradioshow.com, on our socials at GFT_radio on Twitter and Instagram, GFT Radio on Twitch, or GFT Radio Network on Facebook. Join the conversation group over at facebook.com/group/GFT. Join the conversation. Listen to us free on demand. Replays 24/7, Spotify, iHeartRadio, Stitcher, Google Play Music, Apple Podcasts, or watch video replays over on Twitch TV, Facebook, and here on YouTube. So make sure you check us out. Until next time, thank you, Chevy. Thank you, Sonny. Thank you, everybody else watching. And thank you all, everyone else that's going to watch on the replay. We will catch y'all